Chapter 2. I beat the hell out of a guy before lunch. The cafeteria door swung open, and the noise hit me all at once. Voices, laughter, trays clattering. I got in line and kept my head down. Everybody in this school seemed to belong somewhere. Somebody to laugh with. Somebody waiting for them. Not me. 4 years at Thundercat High, and I still ate alone. I stared at the tray in my hands while it slid down the metal counter. Then, don't get too close, somebody said behind me. He might fall in love with you. I already knew the voice. CJ, I sighed and glanced back at him. If you could touch your toes, I said, maybe I would. A couple people nearby laughed. Oh! CJ's face tightened immediately. Good. I turned back around like I didn't care. The lunch lady slapped a slice of breakfast pizza onto my tray. I grabbed an orange, milk, juice, whatever was there. Wasn't even hungry. I stepped away from the line and looked around the cafeteria. Every table felt closed off somehow. Then I saw Nathan. He sat at the football table laughing with his teammates, one arm thrown over the back of his chair. For half a second, I thought about walking over there. Then one of the guys beside him leaned over and whispered something in his ear. Nathan glanced toward me and laughed. Not hard, not mean, but enough. My chest tightened. I looked away first. That was usually how it went. When it was just me and Nathan, things felt different. But around everybody else, he always turned back into everybody else. I hated that I'd gotten used to it. Before I could think about it anymore, a hard shove slammed into my back. My tray flew out of my hands. Milk splashed across my shoes. The orange rolled across the floor underneath somebody's table. The cafeteria went quiet for half a second. Then, laughter. I turned around slowly. CJ stood there with his hands up. Damn, he smirked. My bad. Something inside me flooded open. Nathan looked over from his table. Our eyes met for half a second, and I swear, he almost smiled. Maybe not even at me. Maybe at the situation. Maybe because everybody else was laughing. But it didn't matter. It pissed me off anyway. Before I could think, I swung. My fist cracked against CJ's face hard enough to turn his head. Yo! The cafeteria exploded. CJ stumbled backward, then came right back swinging. His fist slammed into my shoulder. Then we were fighting, fast, messy, trays crashing, people yelling. Stop! Nathan shouted somewhere nearby. Chill, both of y'all. CJ shoved me again. Fucking faggot, he spat. Everything in my head went quiet, dead quiet, like somebody flipped a switch. I shoved Nathan off me. Then I hit CJ again, and again, and again. I didn't even feel tired, didn't feel scared. All I could hear was my mom's voice. Lazy, just like your daddy. At least he liked women. Sickness. I hit him harder. CJ fell backward onto the floor, but I followed him down. My knees slammed against the tile while my fists kept moving. Blood covered his nose, his mouth. People screamed around us. Chairs scraped loudly across the floor. Somebody grabbed my shoulders. I threw them off. Roman! Nathan yelled, closer this time. Bro, stop! But I couldn't. Years of anger poured out all at once. Everything I never said, everything I swallowed, everything I hated about myself. I kept swinging until multiple people finally dragged me backward. I fought against them, breathing hard, trying to break loose. Let me fucking go. Nathan grabbed onto the front of my shirt. Roman! I froze, just for a second. CJ lay there on the floor bleeding. not moving. The whole cafeteria had phones out recording. "Everybody back up," Coach Neeks yelled, rushing over. The gym teacher dropped beside CJ, tapping his face lightly. "CJ, hey, stay with me." Nothing happened for a second. Then CJ groaned weakly. Alive. My chest rose and fell hard. Nathan still held onto my shirt, but now he stared at me differently. Not scared exactly, just confused, like he didn't know who I was anymore. That hurt worse than the punches. "Roman," Coach Neek said firmly, "go to the principal's office, now." The principal's office smelled like old coffee and printer paper. I sat in the chair staring at my shaking hands. I didn't know if I felt angry anymore, mostly just empty. The door opened quietly. Principal Shear walked in carrying a folder. Unlike most principals, he didn't immediately start yelling. That almost made it worse. He sat down slowly behind his desk. "Roman," he sighed, "I'm going to have to suspend you." "He started it," I snapped immediately. "Why am I getting suspended?" "Because you nearly beat another student unconscious." He called me a faggot. Principal Shear stayed quiet for a second. Then he leaned back in his chair. "You know," he said carefully, "when I first started working here, there was a boy a lot like you." I frowned slightly. "He got bullied every day," Principal Shear continued. "Kids pushed him around, called him names, made rumors about him." I looked away. "And eventually," he said, "he stopped coming to school altogether." Silence filled the office. "He killed himself 2 years later." My stomach tightened. Principal Shear sighed heavily. "Roman, kids can be cruel, especially in places like this, and people fear what they don't understand." I swallowed hard. "That doesn't make it your fault." My chest tightened again. "But," he continued softly, "you cannot let people turn you into somebody angry all the time." "He humiliated me in front of everybody," I muttered. "What they're doing to you is wrong. But if you let that anger consume you, it'll destroy you more than them." I stayed silent. He sighed and picked up the phone. Instant dread crawled into my stomach. "Please don't call her," I said. He paused for half a second, then dialed anyway. "Yes, Ms. Theon," he said calmly. "I have your son Roman here. He was involved in a serious altercation this morning." I leaned back slowly in the chair. Every muscle in my body suddenly felt tired. "Yes," Principal Shear continued, "he'll need to be home for a day." I closed my eyes. Going home somehow felt worse than the fight, and that was the part nobody at this school would ever understand.